You know what the most powerful response to pain is: silence, not the silence of weakness, but the silence of strategy. When life throws you betrayal, rejection, or disrespect, don't fight, don't scream, don't beg. Just rise, because nothing is more confusing than a woman who transforms her pain into power. The truth is, your energy is too expensive to spend on people who couldn't afford your worth in the first place. So instead of wasting your tears, invest in your growth. Work harder, look stronger, walk taller, shine brighter. Confusion happens when you don't play the expected role. People expect you to break down, but you show up glowing. They expect you to crumble, but you build empires. They expect you to need them, but you walk away with grace. That, my friends, is the ultimate power move. Remember this. The best revenge is not anger, not revenge at all. It's indifference. It's the art of not caring while caring deeply about yourself. Because when you turn your wounds into wisdom and your setbacks into comebacks, nothing can stop you. So when life hurts you, don't respond with noise. Respond with transformation. Evolve so beautifully that the world has no choice but to watch you, admire you, and wonder, how did she do that? Silence is often misunderstood as weakness, as if being quiet means you have nothing to say, no power to respond, or no courage to fight back. But in reality, silence can be the most strategic tool a person can use when they are hurt or disrespected. When you choose silence, you are not surrendering, you are stepping back to control the narrative without uttering a single word. People expect you to scream, to argue, to defend yourself endlessly, because that is the predictable reaction. When you choose not to give them that reaction, you shift the power dynamic instantly. You confuse the one who tried to shake you, because suddenly they realize they cannot predict you, they cannot control you, and they cannot feed on your emotional energy. Silence becomes a shield, protecting you from engaging in unnecessary battles that would drain your strength. Think about it. When someone wrongs you, they are waiting for your reaction. They thrive on it. Your anger validates their actions. Your tears satisfy their ego. Your explanations give them more ammunition. But when you remain silent, you take all of that away from them. You remove their satisfaction. They have no stage, no applause, no drama to feed on. Silence starves them of the very attention they wanted. In that silence, you are not doing nothing. You are doing everything. You are observing, you are learning, you are strategizing, and most importantly, you are growing. Silence gives you the space to process your emotions without being manipulated. It is also important to understand that silence is not about suppressing yourself. It is about expressing yourself differently. Silence says, I do not need to waste my words proving my worth to anyone. It communicates strength, confidence, and self-respect. It creates an aura of mystery around you, a space where people cannot easily decode your emotions or intentions. That mystery is powerful because what people cannot understand, they cannot control. Silence keeps them guessing, wondering, questioning, and that confusion is your silent victory. When you are silent, you are not ignoring your feelings, you are channeling them. You are allowing your inner strength to grow without being interrupted by external noise. You are reminding yourself that your energy belongs to your progress, not to pointless arguments. Silence becomes your language of resilience. It teaches you patience, and patience often achieves what anger never could. While the other person wastes their time trying to provoke you, you are building yourself in silence, preparing to rise higher than they ever imagined. There is something undeniably powerful about a person who refuses to be shaken by insults, disrespect, or betrayal. They walk with calmness in their steps, grace in their demeanor, and unshakable focus in their eyes. That calmness is born from silence. It is the kind of silence that says, I know who I am, I know what I am capable of, and I will not lower myself to match the noise around me. Such silence is not passive, it is active. It is the silence of someone who knows that actions will always speak louder than words. And when your actions speak, the world listens more than it ever would to your arguments. Silence is also a test of discipline. Anyone can shout back, anyone can cry, anyone can argue, but it takes strength to hold back when everything inside you wants to explode. that discipline separates leaders from followers, visionaries from the ordinary. In your silence, you show that you are not controlled by impulses, that you are not defined by temporary emotions. Instead, you are guided by clarity, by a long-term vision of where you are heading. That clarity becomes your armor, and silence sharpens it even more. When you are silent, you also protect your dignity. Words once spoken cannot be taken back, and in moments of anger, we often say things we regret later. Silence prevents that. It guards your integrity. It ensures that your story remains untarnished by unnecessary reactions. By staying silent, you allow the truth to speak for itself, and truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how much people try to bury it. Silence gives truth the room it needs to rise without you having to fight for it. There is also an elegance in silence. The world admires those who carry themselves with composure, even in the face of adversity. It shows emotional maturity. It shows that you are not a slave to negativity. People remember the person who kept calm when everything around them was chaotic. That memory becomes your silent influence, and influence is far more powerful than dominance. Influence lasts, dominance fades. Silence builds influence by showing you are unshaken, untouchable, and unbothered. Lastly, silence gives you control over yourself, and self-control is the foundation of every great success. When you master silence, you master patience, resilience, focus, and strategy. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer fall into traps, you rise above them. You no longer fight meaningless battles. You save your energy for wars that matter. Silence teaches you that true strength is not proven in how loudly you speak, but in how calmly you stand when others expect you to fall. It teaches you that silence is not the absence of words, but the presence of wisdom. And wisdom, once embraced, can take you further than any argument ever could. Walk away with grace, not noise, because grace has a power that noise will never have. When you choose grace, you are choosing dignity over drama, confidence over chaos, and self-worth over desperation. Walking away does not mean you lost. It means you valued yourself enough not to stay where you are not respected. It is an act of self-love, a declaration that your peace matters more than proving a point. Noise can be loud in the moment, but it fades quickly, leaving only regret. Grace, on the other hand, echoes silently and leaves a lasting impression that no one can ignore. When you walk away with grace, you create a silence that speaks volumes. People expect you to fight, argue, or beg for closure. But when you turn your back with composure, you give them the most unexpected response. That calmness is unsettling to those who wanted to see you break. Your quiet strength becomes their confusion. They realize they no longer have power over your emotions because you refuse to hand it to them. Grace transforms you into someone untouchable, someone who refuses to be dragged into the mud no matter how hard they try to pull you down. Walking away with grace means choosing yourself over the need to be understood by those who never valued you in the first place. It means understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, not every insult deserves a reply, and not every situation requires your presence. Grace is about control, the ability to rise above, to stay poised even when everything around you is tempting you to lash out. That restraint is not weakness, it is discipline, it is strength, and it is wisdom. It shows that you do not waste your energy proving yourself to people who were blind to your worth from the start. There is an elegance in knowing when to stop talking and when to start walking. You are not abandoning the fight. You are choosing a battlefield where your energy will be respected and your presence will be valued. Walking away is not defeat, it is strategy. It says, I know what I bring to the table, and I refuse to sit where my presence is taken for granted. Grace is not about arrogance, it is about self-awareness. It is the calm confidence that whispers, I deserve better, and I am not afraid to go find it. Noise, on the other hand, takes away your power. When you scream, argue, or try to prove yourself, you are handing control to the other person. You are giving them the satisfaction of seeing you break down. Noise feeds their ego, while silence confuses them. Graceful walking away leaves no cracks for them to attack, no reaction for them to manipulate. It is like holding a mirror to them without saying a word, letting their own actions expose who they are without you lifting a finger. That is the brilliance of grace. It wins battles without ever engaging in them. Walking away gracefully also protects your peace. Peace is a treasure, and not everyone deserves access to it. By walking away, you close the door on negativity and open space for healing, growth, and new beginnings. You preserve your energy for what truly matters, your dreams, your goals, your happiness. Grace is knowing that protecting your inner world is more important than fixing what others have broken. It is about not allowing temporary people to leave permanent damage on your spirit. There is something magnetic about someone who leaves with grace. The image of you walking away calmly, with your head held high, lingers in their mind far longer than any argument ever would. They may forget your words, but they will never forget your poise. Grace creates mystery. It makes people wonder how you manage to remain so composed in the middle of chaos. That curiosity is powerful because what they cannot understand, they cannot control. Grace leaves them questioning themselves, not you. Walking away with grace is also about valuing time. Time is your most precious resource, and wasting it on arguments or toxic situations only steals it from your growth. By leaving quietly, you are telling yourself that your future deserves more than staying stuck in places where you are diminished. Grace allows you to walk away without bitterness, without revenge, and without burning yourself out. It lets you leave lightly, carrying lessons instead of grudges, carrying wisdom instead of wounds. Grace teaches you that the loudest statement is often made in silence. Your walk speaks louder than your words, your composure speaks louder than your anger, and your peace speaks louder than any justification you could ever give. People will always try to test your patience, push your limits, and draw reactions from you, but grace denies them that satisfaction. It says, I choose myself, and I refuse to let your actions define my behavior. That refusal is power. When you walk away with grace, you shift the story. You are no longer the one who was wronged. You become the one who chose freedom. You are no longer the victim. You are the author of your own next chapter. Grace allows you to reclaim your narrative without needing validation, without needing approval, and without needing anyone to understand your decision. It is the art of moving on without noise, carrying yourself with dignity, and leaving behind an impression of strength that words could never capture.